What's going on, Sip Sip? So, part of my role as being a superintendent is that I have to understand people, right? That's one of the strong points is that you have to understand the room and have to understand people. And so, part of my process is checking on safety and often doing things and walking around to identify certain things. So, just to give a recap on something that happened this morning, I wanted to highlight is that one of the guys that during our walk, I was walking myself and Maya. We were conducting a walk to address something that's not correct, or doesn't seem to be corrected, or needs to be corrected for the punch list. And so when we went upstairs, we were looking at what needed to take place and what needed to happen so we can get a better understanding because it was unclear based on sometimes email doesn't break things down for you. It's hard to understand things. And plus, I'm a visual learner, so I need to see stuff, and I grasp it like that. So during our walk and during talking to the foreman and was asking him some questions, I noticed when I peeked outside to the work area where guys are working, this was in a particular room. The working is basically done. It's already been turned over basically to the owner. And so when I was there to understand what was going on, when I peeked my head outside, the guys were working on some punch list item, and I noticed one of the guys just standing there, kind of, looked like he was there, but he wasn't there, and he didn't have his safety glasses on. So I just kind of did this, and because they were out there grinding and doing some stuff, and so when he came in, my thing to him was, "Are you ready to go home?" And I've worked with the guy before. He's been to this job site, and he was like, "Huh?" I said, "Are you ready to go home?" While I was doing this, he was like, and this thing was, "You gonna send me home for that?" And my thing is, yeah, I'm gonna send you home for that because I want to protect your eyes, especially with the guy grinding within 6 feet of you. Yeah, I'll send you home for that. And then he said, "Oh," and he grabbed his glasses. He left them on the desk right there in the room that we in, and he put them on and he went back outside. And I was like, something must, and I could tell that something was off by just looking at his demeanor and his attitude, but nothing was said earlier today, doing our regular stuff. And so when I talked to Barry, the foreman, say, "Well, oh, he's getting ready to leave, uh, in 30 minutes anyway." And I'm like, "What's going on?" And he said, "Well," because I was trying to figure out what was going on. He said, "Well, he just got word that his brother passed." And I'm like, "Wow." So my thing is, I called him back in there and tell him, "Hey, I get it. I get that you just had a loss, and I'm sorry for your loss." Is I'm talking to him now as a man because I know that part of my job is to get respect. I have to give respect. And so what I did was tell him, "Hey, man, I understand that I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to even document this because I know at this point that you're at a place and a space in your mind mentally that you're not thinking correctly." You understand what I'm saying? And so when I gave him my story and say, "Hey, I lost 3 people that I love dearly in 1 year, so I totally understand." And I said, "So I wouldn't be mad if you just come and sit downstairs or even go home. I don't think Barry's going to dock you for 30 minutes because you're no good to these guys anyway." I didn't tell him all of that, but I told him the gist of it is, "Hey, why don't you come downstairs or go ahead and go do what you got to do with your family? You don't have to be here. And trust me, I understand." And so, next week, if you come back, whenever you come back, I'm going to buy you lunch. You understand what I'm saying? Because first, I'm a human, so I understand. This job site is not more important than these guys going home safe. And that's what I tell them every morning. So sometimes guys are not safe because their mind is not there. So as a young superintendent, you need to understand that certain things are beyond your control, but certain things happen because life happens for everybody. So as a young superintendent, you need to learn how to have compassion, how to have empathy, and you need to meet these guys where they are. Because if you haven't had anybody, if you haven't suffered a loss, I feel sorry for you, you know, because we all are going to suffer a loss. So y'all take it easy. And this is chapter 2, I believe, in my book. I'm gonna release a book on how to be a great superintendent. So this is actually chapter 3, I believe, chapter 2 or 3, but it's on communication. So y'all have a good day and y'all be safe, okay? Sip, sip.